Welcome to the topic 2 or week 2 of the unit Introduction to Information Systems. And thank you for joining me here. And we're going to discuss the important terms. Our objectives for this week, we have the following learning objectives. First one, identify several basic competitive strategies and explain how they use information technologies to confront the competitive forces faced by a business. Next, identify several strategic uses of internet technologies and give examples of how they can help a business gain competitive advantages. Next one, to identify the business value of using internet technologies to become an agile competitor or form a virtual company. Lastly, explain how knowledge management systems can help a business gain strategic advantages. And the first topic is competing with information technology. Here are the strategic uses of IT in the company. First one, lowered costs. Why companies are using IT to substantially reduce the cost of business processes. Next, companies are using IT to lower the cost of customers or suppliers. Next, strategic use to differentiate. Developed new features to differentiate products and services. Companies are using IT features to reduce the differentiation advantages of competitors and use features to focus products and services at selected market niches or places. Next one, we have the following. To innovate. Companies are using IT to create new products and services that include IT components. They're using IT to develop unique new markets or marketplaces or niches. With the help of IT, it means identifying what are the needs or what are the buying power of the customers and make radical changes to business processes with IT that dramatically cut costs, improve quality, efficiency, or customer service, or shorten time to market. Next one is to promote growth. Companies are using IT to manage regional and global business expansion, and companies are using IT to diversify and integrate into other products and services. Another one is they develop alliances. Companies are using IT to create virtual organizations of business partners and develop enterprise information systems linked by the internet and extranets that support strategic business relationships with customers, suppliers, subcontractors, and many more. Other strategic uses of IT in the business world to develop inter-enterprises information systems whose convenience and efficiency create switching costs that lock in customers or suppliers. Make major investments in advanced IT applications that build barriers to entry against industry competitors or outsiders. And include IT components in products and services to make substitution of competing products or services more difficult. We have leveraged investment in IS people, hardware, software, databases, and networks from operational uses into strategic applications. This graph will show the move from innovation to competitive advantage quickly becomes competitive necessity when other firms learn how to respond strategically. So business organizations are having this model, and let's discuss the model. When you say competitive advantage, it is a term often used when referring to a firm that is leading an industry in some identifiable way, such as sales, revenues, or new products. So I quoted here, when a firm sustains profits that exceed the average of its industry, so the firm is said to possess competitive advantage over its rivals. So in the business world, competitive advantage is all about profits. Who's leading in the marketplace? And what's the difference between competitive advantage and competitive necessity? Take note of this. When you say competitive advantage, developing products, services, processes, or capabilities that give a company a superior business possession relative to its competitors and other competitive forces. But when you say competitive necessity, it deals with the products, services, processes, and capabilities that are necessary simply to compete and do business in an industry. So those are the differences between the two terms. Kindly take note of that. Next, we have organizational learning. Stated here, once a firm figures out how to gain an advantage over its competitors, normally through some form of innovation, the competitors figure out how it was done through a process referred to as organizational learning. Right. So all business organizations, while knowing their competitive advantage and doing their competitive necessity, it is a must for business firms to innovate. And that process, again, known as organizational learning. So innovation is one of the keys in the market. And customer-focused e-business, what is that? I quoted here, the driving force behind world economic growth has changed from manufacturing volume to improving customer value. So as a result, the key success factor for many firms, take note of this, the key success factor for the business firms is maximizing customer value. And how we are going to integrate customers in an e-business. So for many companies, the chief business value of becoming a customer-focused business lies in its ability to help them keep customers loyal. So there must be ways how to anticipate their future needs, track, respond to customer concerns. There must be a link to provide top quality customer service. In just one click, one call, and there should be response from the feedback of the customers. So this strategic focus in customer value recognizes that quality rather than the price has become the primary determinant in a customer's perception of value. Again, highlighting it's quality that became the number one primary determinant. And companies that consistently offer the best value from the customer's perspective are those that keep track of their customers' individual preferences. So these are the elements. If we are going to design an e-commerce or e-business site, we're going to keep track of our customers' individual preferences and put it in a database. Keep up with the market trends, another link that will keep them updated. There must be also display for supply products, services, and information anytime and anywhere. And provide customer services tailored to their individual needs. So with this, the internet technologies have created a strategic opportunity for companies. It could be large, small, or medium enterprises to offer fast, responsive, high quality products and service tailored or designed to individual customer preferences. So we've learned what are the elements so that the customer will be satisfied. So we are going to use internet technologies that can make customers the focal point of customer relationship management, or there are systems known as CRM and other e-business applications. So typically customers use the internet to ask questions, lodge complaints or feedback, grievance, or evaluate products, request form, and make and track their purchases. And using the internet and corporate intranets, specialists in business functions throughout the enterprise, and contribute to an effective response. By doing so, this ability encourages the creation of cross-functional discussion groups. And there must be problem-solving teams dedicated to customer involvement, service, and support. So these are the elements in a company wherein a team we're going to involve directly to the customer's feedback. So there are internet and extranet also links to suppliers, because suppliers are also customer of a company, even business partners. And there must be a link to enlist them in a way of doing business that ensures prompt delivery of quality components. That's why we have tracking system. If the product arrived, when it will be, the payment, and other services to meet the company's commitments to its customers. So this process is how a business demonstrates its focus for customer value. So we have here a diagram how a customer-focused business builds customer value and loyal using internet technologies. And we have two major databases that must be present. We have customer database, we have transaction database, and using the internet or the extranet, we have links there. And using the internet, other members of the group who are not member, they can see orders directly through the internet to the browsers. And those who are linked in the customer, we have the intranets. Okay, so it will give all employees a complete view of each customer by linking in this particular database. And through this database, you'll be able to generate reports for loyal customers, okay, and build a web community of customers, employees, and partners. And on this side, in the transaction database, let the customers check order history and delivery status. They must know the tracking of the product. So this diagram or this model will give us a particular figure on the importance of databases to give a customer value. One of the main reasons why we have these units is that you are a young professional in IT with entrepreneurial skills. We need to develop young professionals who are non-business, should have this entrepreneurial skills. And that is why we should learn about the business reengineering and quality management. Because you are here to be trained as future leader, future manager, or future CEO or department head. And one of the most important implementations of competitive strategies in business is known as business process reengineering, or BPR, or often simply called as reengineering. So let's discuss this reengineering. It's stated here it is a fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic improvements in costs, quality, speed, and service. And BPR combines strategy of promoting business innovation with a strategy of making major improvements to business processes so that a company can become much stronger and more successful competitor in the marketplace. So we have here the key ways that business process reengineering differs from business improvements. In terms of level of change, business improvement says incremental, while business process reengineering, that is radical. So it means there's a term radically open-minded. In terms of process change, business improvement, improve new version of our processes, while in business process reengineering, brand new process. The starting point of the business improvement, existing processes, while BPR in a clean slate. In terms of frequency of change, one time or continuous for the business improvement, but for the BPR, periodic, one time change. For the business improvement, it is short in terms of time required, but BPR is long. And in terms of typical scope, stated here, narrow within functions for the business improvement. But for business process reengineering, it is broad, cross-functional, interdepartments. In terms of horizon, business improvement refers to the past and present conditions of the business, while BPR deals with the future things. What are the innovations to be done in the next 3, 5, or 10 years? Participation, bottom up for the business improvements, while for business process reengineering, top down. Right, and telling you, you are trained here to become managers, to become team leaders, to become future department heads. So you must know what is this business process reengineering, because it will come from top level of management going to the operational management. In terms of path to execution, it's the business improvement, it's cultural, while BPR, both cultural and structural. In terms of primary enabler, stated here is statistical control, but BPR is using information technology. How about the risks? It's moderate for the business improvement, while BPR is a higher risks. So these are the differences between business improvement and business process reengineering. Becoming an agile company. So we have here in terms for the customer, take note here the role of IT. Okay? If we are dealing with the ability to cope up customers in the exploitation of innovation opportunities, so what's the role of IT here? Technologies for building and enhancing virtual customer communities for product design, feedback, and testing. In terms of partnering, what's the role of an IT? Technologies for facilitating inter-firm collaboration, such as collaborative platforms or portals, supply chain systems. And in terms of operational, what's the role of IT here? Technologies for modularization and integration of business processes. So here are the example of the implementation of IT in different types of agility. Later on, I will discuss what is that agile, and I'm so going to discuss more about this knowledge management. So building a knowledge creating company. Take note, in the previous chapter, I discussed that there are end users who are knowledge workers. So in an economy where the only certainty is uncertainty, the one sure force of lasting competitive advantage is knowledge. And when markets shift, technologies proliferate, competitors multiply, and products become obsolete almost overnight. Successful companies are those that consistently create new technologies. One of the best examples here is Kodak. What happened at the time? They were not able to foresee that the smartphones will be present and people will not print anymore the film. And another example is Nokia. Before, they're number one in the market. And suddenly, with the existence of Android, Nokia was lost in the market. So it means there are certain things. So we must, if you are a company, you have a knowledge of the market and disseminate it widely throughout the organization. Futuristic. And if there will be innovations, quickly embody it in the new technologies and products. So these activities define what we call the knowledge creating company. What is their main goal? Sole business is continuous innovation. So if you will be hired in a company, you're going to generate knowledge and you're going to innovate something futuristic. And there are two kinds of knowledge. One is explicit knowledge. Please take note of this. When you say explicit knowledge, these are the data, documents, and things written down or stored on computers or databases. While the tacit knowledge, these are know or how-tos of knowledge, which resides with workers. These are the skills of the workers. And one of the problems in tacit knowledge is that it is not recorded or codified anywhere because it has evolved in the employee's mind through years of experience. So, how we are going to record a tacit knowledge? It could be through experience. For example, your mother is one of the best chef of a particular food. And how the preparation of food will be transferred to generation. And that is an example of tacit knowledge, how-tos. For example, if your father is a good driver, how he could pass the knowledge to the younger generations. It can be taught through years of experience, sharing those experiences. Or we can capture tacit knowledge through videos. That's why we have video recordings for pilot testing, driving, and others that involved or considered as tacit knowledge. And that is what we call knowledge management system. And knowledge management can be viewed in three levels of techniques, technologies, and systems that promote the collection, organization, access, sharing, and use of workplace and enterprise knowledge. There's a system known as workplace, wherein the culture of a company can be recorded in that particular intranet. When you say intranet, you need a passwords, login in order for you to enter through that system. So Through this workplace environment, in the top level management, the enterprise intelligence, it deals with know-how, performance support, interacting with operational databases, building expert networks. In the middle level, there will be information creation, sharing, and management. So it deals with the capturing and distributing expert stories, real-time information management, communication and collaboration, new content creation, and of course, document management in the operational level, and it deals with accessing and retrieving documents stored online, anytime and anywhere. So the best example is that workplace is a system, it is an internet. More about knowledge management systems, or KMS. Why companies are building KMS? Of course, to manage organizational learning and business know-how. The main goal of such system is to help knowledge workers create, organize, and make available important business knowledge wherever and whenever it's needed in an organization. Just one click and all the information will be available. And this information includes processes, procedures, patents, reference works, formulas, best practices, forecasts, and fixes. And KMS also facilitate organizational learning and knowledge creation. They are designed to provide rapid feedback to knowledge workers, encourage behaviors, changes by employees, and significantly improve business performance. I mentioned the word agile and a search in the internet thanks to Google. It is an adjective meaning able to move quickly and easily, and in terms of computer system relating to or denoting a method of project management used especially for software development that is characterized by the division of tasks into short phases of work and frequent reassessment and adaptation of plans. So that's agile. And I'm searched also about knowledge management examples. And the term knowledge management, it came in 1990s and refers to what the author of the model, Dohon, an industry expert, described in 1998 by saying knowledge management is a discipline that promotes an integrated approach to identifying, capturing, evaluating, retrieving, and sharing all of an enterprise information assets. So again, what are these assets? May include databases, documents, policies, procedures, and previously uncaptured expertise and experience in individual workers. That's why you have video here to be uploaded in the environment. And understanding knowledge management, stated here, the most important goal of knowledge management is ensuring that data and information is collected and stored in such a way that makes it effective and efficient for members of organization to find and use the necessary data. And there are types of knowledge management. Lesson learned databases. These are databases of information that are retrieved from people who have already tackled a problem and found a solution. And the term lessons learned is synonymous with the popular term best practices. Another, we have expertise location. It is a database which provides a way to create or to locate an expert or expert information. Then we have communities of practice. These are groups of individuals who discuss problems, opportunities, lessons learned, and other information gained from users. So as companies grow globally, these communities became more geographically spread out. So it's stated here, a good knowledge management system provides these groups the three types of knowledge managed with a way to share information in what could be described as a virtual water cooler approach. So here are knowledge management forms: process-driven applications, automated data integration, data capture and workflow solutions, purpose-built databases, content lifecycle management. We have automated document and classification solutions. We have document, content, and imagine solutions. Secure file sharing. We have optical character recognition. We have social analytics and engagement solutions. And we have here integration of enterprise search and business intelligence. So someday, if you're going to create or if you're going to evaluate a knowledge management system, these forms must exist, that the system will be helpful to capture the two types of knowledge, the explicit and the tacit knowledge. So there are some examples of different knowledge management systems. It includes feedback database. So a company may have a database of feedback from customers and employees and shares this feedback in their design and research and development departments. And all members of the organization should be able to enter feedback into the database, as an integrated approach would be taken to understand the shared information. Another one, shared project files. So an employee team can work collaboratively on a project, and they can have a system of shared files and information that allows everyone on the team to upload and comment on work performed by others. That's collaboration. And research files, a company developing a new products, because a company should have an innovation. So new products research on their competitors and conducts focus groups to find out what is needed in their product or marketplaces or niches. So in this particular database, this information is entered into the database that contains objective data and market sales potential, and indicates what assets and processes the company has in place which can be used to meet the sales potential, meet customers' needs, and fill the gaps within the marketplace. So there are lots of types of providers of knowledge management solutions available in the market, but these are not for free. It means you have to purchase this knowledge management. But if a company were going to design and hire a particular programmer, take note of that. If you are one of the programmers, these are the databases that must be present in your knowledge management system. And if you're going to design a knowledge management system, take note of these forms. It must be present in your system. That ends our chapter 2. I hope you learned something new. And again, as an IT young professional, you are challenged to become entrepreneur, and you have to widen your perspective in a business world. And I hope you've learned something, and write the important items in your summary notes. Thank you.